Hello and welcome to today's Friday edition of the Danielle Daily Show. I am Danielle Watson. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that the renovations that are going on in the condo beneath mine continue today. It sounds like they are ripping up tile and all manner of flooring down there. So if you hear some miscellaneous banging going on in the background, not to worry. And I apologize for that distracting noise, but there's nothing I can do about it. So, welcome. It is Friday. It is also St. Patrick's Day. I had to go digging deep in my closet to find something green. Green is not one of the colors that I wear on a regular basis, but I also didn't want to risk being pinched. Do people still do that? I know that when I was younger, that was a big thing. If you didn't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, you were risking being pinched. So today I have a little story for you. I have today's note to self. As always, we will keep the Friday edition of the Danielle Daily Show super short so that we can all get on with our weekend plans. If you have weekend plans or if you have St. Patrick's Day plans, let me know what they are. And if you're watching here live, let me know that you are here by typing hello into the comments. And if you prefer to watch incognito, that's fine too. Elena is here, yay! It looks like Lacey's here, and I got a shamrock too. Awesome! I'm so glad that you girls are here. And I saw a picture of baby Lacey looking so sad. It nearly broke my heart. Oh my goodness, the little girl, just tiny, and just having a sad look on her face, and nearly killed me. Eric says, "Hi, no green, no pinches. I just get kissed." So Eric gets kissed when he doesn't wear he doesn't wear green. I wonder if Eric gets kissed or if Eric gives kisses. With that guy, you just never know. So I'm curious about that. Amber is here. Yay! I'm so glad that you were able to join me live. So as I was saying just before you guys hopped on, the renovations in the condo below mine continue today. So if you hear some banging and stuff in the background, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it, and hopefully they won't be working on that too much longer. Elena says, just waiting for the hubby to get home Sunday afternoon. House chores other than that. Awesome. You know, the house chores are a great way to distract yourself when you're missing your hubby. So I'm glad that you're working on those. And I know that you and Lacey will be so happy to see him when he gets home. Eric says, kiss me, I'm Irish. It's how it goes. I have seen those buttons and those shirts. I'm sure there will be many of those out and about tonight. And I often wonder, does that actually work? If you wear something that says, kiss me, I'm Irish, do people actually kiss you? I don't know. It's not something I've tried. I don't like being kissed by strangers. Okay, so today I wanted to tell you a little story about something that I noticed earlier today, and I have your note to self for you. I think you're going to really like this one. This is one of those ones that just makes you feel so good. So earlier today, I went to yoga class, and for some reason, it was a really full class, which is unusual. And there were two young men who were in the class, and it was their very first time, and they were both well over 6 feet tall. They were enormous, and young and kind of a little bit awkward, but at the same time you could tell that they were athletes. You could tell that they probably go to the local university and they're athletes of some sort, possibly basketball players, possibly something else. And so they were at this yoga class, and you could tell they were completely inexperienced, didn't really know what to expect. And it's not just a yoga class, but it's a hot yoga class. So it's like over 100 degrees in the room. And not only was it a hot yoga class that they were brand new to, but it happened to be that it was an advanced level class. So I don't know exactly who encouraged them to come and take that class, or if they just, it happened to be the time they could come at, and so they wanted to try it. But I thought it was so interesting because here are these two enormous, athletic but slightly awkward young men in the back of the class who are clearly fit, right? They're very fit, and they're as we start the class, like, they just have no idea what's going on, and their bodies just can't keep up with what is going on, and you can just see the discouraged looks on their faces and the embarrassed looks, right? Because clearly they're used to performing at a very high level, and here they are in this yoga class where there's people like me who are old, compared to, you know, when you're in your early 20s, people who in their late 30s are like ancient. And people like me and people even older than me are doing all the moves like pretty easily, and we're not even really sweating that much for like the first half of the class. And here are these two guys in the back who are youthful, who are athletic, but because they're inexperienced, they're having a really hard time and they're getting overheated, and you know, they're just not keeping up very well. And I was watching them because I was in the front of the room and there's mirrors, and I was watching them throughout the class, and I was watching the different expressions roll through their faces. And I was thinking, you know, I just want to go back there and say, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You're brand new at this. We were all brand new at this at one point. You know, I've been doing this more than 10 years. That's why it looks the way it does. And when you're used to performing at a really high level, sometimes it's extra difficult, right, to try something new. And so I just had so much admiration and respect for them for trying something new. I felt like they'd set themselves up for a really difficult situation by coming to an advanced level class. And it was interesting that there were so many more people in the room than usual. So there was just more people around them, right, who made it look like this should be easy, and it wasn't easy for them. So that was interesting. So at the end of the class, as we're all putting our equipment away, I made a point to walk back to the back of the room and just let these two guys know that I really admired the fact that they stayed in the room for the entire class, and that they, you know, they participated in everything that we were doing. And I know when I first started doing yoga in a hot room, I couldn't do the whole workout. Like, I would do what I could, and then I would take a rest, or sometimes I would even stop like 15 minutes early and just lay on my mat. I don't think I ever actually had to leave the room. And honestly, when you go out of a hot room into the freezing cold, it doesn't necessarily feel very good. It's much better to just kind of lay there and stop moving and let your body cool down if possible. But they hung with it the whole time. And so I went back there to let them know. And it was so cute because both of them, you know, kind of started scratching their heads and thanking me for acknowledging them for hanging with it and for trying their best. And I encouraged them. I said, you know, it's not easy when you first start doing this. You're going to get better at it the more that you try. I really admire that you even, you know, made the attempt. This is an intermediate or advanced class. And wow, you know, clearly you guys are athletes and you're used to being able to do things really well. And I just really admire that you were here and that you did your best. And even though it didn't look like what everybody else was doing, you were here and you showed up. I just think that's really great. And you could tell that really meant a lot to them. That those of us in the room who were, you know, doing it better or whatever, we weren't looking at them with judgment, right? We weren't looking at them going, oh my gosh, you know, those guys, I'm doing it so much better than them. Like, those guys are no good. You could tell that they really appreciated that somebody was there who was cheering them on, and that it perked them up a little bit. You know, when I first walked back there, they were both sort of like hanging their heads a little bit and like looking a little bit defeated. And after, you know, I said a few words to them, they were standing up taller and like, yeah, I did try my best. And yeah, you know, I showed up, and it just made me feel really good to make them feel really good. So that is what today's note to self is about. Are you ready to write it down? Like I said, Friday show, I tried to keep it really brief. So let's get to the note to self so that we can all get on with our weekend plans. It says, dear self, when you see someone making an effort, encourage the heck out of them. And then I like to sign it, love me. I will read this to you again in case you're writing it down. Remember, you can always watch the replay if you miss it and write it down there. But it says, dear self, when you see someone making an effort, encourage the heck out of them. And I wrote that note because I just saw what an impact that had on these two young men. The fact that somebody was encouraging them just for making an effort, that it really perked them up and made them feel good about what they'd accomplished, rather than walking out of there feeling bad about the fact that they just couldn't keep up. Like that's the truth of it. They couldn't keep up, and that's just because they hadn't trained for it. But, you know, give them a few weeks or a month, and they would have been right along with the rest of us. It's just when you try something new, you know, there's a learning curve, and it's not always easy. I love the thumbs ups. Thank you so much. Tammy Keck says, I got my green on. Awesome. Yeah, I had to dig out something green too. I was afraid of getting pinched. Eric says that if you don't wear green, you get kissed though. So I don't know how true that is, but I don't want random people kissing me or pinching me. So wherever I go today, I'm going to make sure I'm wearing some green. So that was today's edition of the Danielle Daily Show. I hope that note to self, you know, inspires you to look around for when people are making an effort, even when their effort is completely imperfect or inadequate, the fact that they're trying, just encourage them. It makes them feel so good. And when you see that your words have that kind of impact on somebody, that it makes them stand a little bit taller and just feel better about themselves, it's going to make you feel amazing about yourself. I know I walked out of there feeling really good about myself and like, yeah, I'm helpful. I'm somebody who's nice to people, and that made me feel really good. Okay, have a wonderful weekend. If you guys need anything, you know how to get me. You can message me. You can leave me a comment. You can email me. I will be back here on Monday at the same time, 3:00 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. I so appreciate each and every one of you who joined me live today, whether you typed anything into the comments and let me know you were here or not. There's nothing I like better than knowing that there are other people watching the show, and you know that we're having an interaction rather than just me recording, talking into the phone. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Monday. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.